Now after creating edit product component, now want to fetch single product data and load product data in edit product form. So first we have goes into frontend directory and goes into edit product component file. And under this file, first we have to write constant fetch product function equal to an async arrow function. So here, we have defined a function to fetch product details from the backend API, which marked as async, to handle the HTTP request, with await, for smooth data retrieval. Next we have to write try block for the API call, so here, we have started a safe block, to handle the Axios request, and catching any errors, like network issues, or invalid responses, without crashing the app. Inside the try block, we have to write constant token equal to local storage.get item, with token key. So here, we have grabbed the JWT authentication token from browser storage, which will be included in the API request for secure access to user data. After this, we have to write constant response variable is equal to await axios.get function with 2 argument. In first argument, we have to define backend URL for fetch single product data from database based on product ID. In second argument, we have to write headers key, and under this, we have to define authorization token key. So here, we have sent a GET request to the backend API to fetch details of the user with the specific ID from the URL, including the bearer token, in headers for authentication. Next we have to write set category ID function with category ID data get from response data. Consequently here, we have updated the category ID state with the category received from the API. After this, we have to write set product name function with the product name, which is get from response data. Consequently here, we have updated the product name state with the name received from the API, which filling the form name input with the existing product data. Then we have to write set product price function with the product price data received from response data. So here, we have updated the product price state with the product price data received from the API, which setting the form's product price input with the correct value. After this, we have to write set product status function with the product status data received from response data. Therefore here, we have updated the product status state with the status like available or out of stock from the API, which setting the form drop-down with the correct value. Next we have to write set existing image function with product image name data received from response data. So here, we have updated the existing image state with existing image for display existing image below file tag. Now we have goes to open and bracket, and between this, we have to write existing image variable and operator. And after this, we have to write division tag with class name is equal to margin top 2 class. Between this, we have to create one image tag with source attribute is equal to open and close bracket. Between this, we have to write base URL, and after this, we have to write $open and close bracket, and between this, we have to write existing image variable. So it will display product existing image on web page, under this edit product page. After setting the form data, we have to write set loading with false. Thus here, we have turned off the loading state, and signaling that the user data has been fetched, and the form is ready to display. Next we have to write catch block with error parameter, so here, we have caught any errors from the Axios GET request, such as invalid product ID, server issues, or authentication failures, to handle them gracefully. Inside the catch block, we have to write set error with a generic error message. So here, we have set an error message to show in the user interface if the product could not be fetched, and giving the user clear feedback about the issue. Then we have to write set loading function with false as parameter again, so here, we have stopped the loading state. Even if an error occurs, ensuring the user interface updates to show the error message, instead of staying in a loading state. So here our fetchProduct function is ready. Now we want to call this function. So here, we have to goes into useEffect function, and under this, we have called fetchProduct function. So here, we have set up a side effect to run code automatically when the component mounts, or when specific dependencies change, then it will preparing for fetch product data. After the function call, we have to write dependency array with ID. So here, we have specified that the useEffect runs whenever the product ID from useParams changes, which ensuring fresh data is fetched if the link ID updates. So here our React front-end code is ready for send request for fetch single product data from the backend server. Now we want to write backend code in product routes file for fetch single product data. So we have goes into backend directory, and under this, we have goes into routes directory, and goes into product routes file. First we have to write router.get method for the /products/:id path with authenticate token middleware and is admin middleware. So here, we have created a get endpoint to fetch details of a specific product by its ID and ensuring the user is logged in with the authenticate token middleware and validating the ID parameter. Next, we have to define validation array, and inside the validation array, we have to write param validator for ID with is integer method and a custom error message. So here, we have checked that the product ID in the URL is a valid integer. If not, then it will sending an error to ensure safe database queries. After the validation array, we have to write an async arrow function with request and response parameters. So here, we have defined the main handler for the get request, which are marked as async, to handle database queries with await, and building on the validated and authenticated request. Inside the handler, we have to write constant errors equal to validation result with request parameter. So here, we have collected any errors from the ID validation to check if the provided product ID is valid before proceeding. Next we have to write if statement, and under condition, we have to write not operator with errors variable.isEmpty function. So this condition will check if there are any validation errors occurs, so we can stop the process if the ID is invalid. If errors exits, then we have to write return statement with response.status method with 400 status. And after this, we have to write JSON method, and under this we have to convert errors array to single error message. After validation, we have to write destructuring assignment to get ID from request.params. So here, we have extracted the product ID from the URL, and it will be ready to use it in the database query. Next we have to write a try block for database operations. So here, we have started a safe block to handle the database query and catching any errors like connection issues to keep the server running smoothly. Inside the try block, we have to write a database query to select the product with the given ID. So here, we have fetched the product details from the product table by using a parameterized query to prevent SQL injection, which ensuring security. After the query, we have to write an if condition, for checking if row's length is 0. So here, we have checked if no product was found with the provided ID, to handle cases where the product does not exist. If no product is found, we have to write return statement with response.status 404.json method with an error message. So here, we have sent a 404 not found response to the frontend, and letting it know the requested product does not exist in the database. Next we have to write response.json with the first row of the query results. So here, we have sent the product details like product name, product price, product status and product image as a JSON response to the frontend, and completing the request successfully. Then we have to write a catch block with error parameter. So here, we have caught any database errors, like connection problems, or query failures, to handle them, without crashing the server. Under this block, we have to write response.status with 500 as parameter, with JSON method. And under this, we have to write database error, with specific message, which is get from error.message variable. So here, we have sent a 500 internal server error response to the frontend, and keeping error details minimal for security, while informing about the failure. So here our code is ready. Now we have restart Node server, by run this command, in Node server terminal. Now here in browser, first we have refresh web page, and after refresh of page, here, we have click on this, row edit button. So after click on edit button, here we can see that, product edit form has been loaded, with pre-fill existing product data. Next we will show you, how to submit this edit form data to Backend API from this React application, and at Backend we will process edit product data request.